For many years in the student K-12 First Amendment world, we had a trinity of free speech cases: Tinker, Frazier, and Hazelwood. Frazier held that school officials can prohibit vulgar and lewd speech. Hazelwood held that public school officials had greater control over school-sponsored student speech. And the Tinker case applied to virtually everything else. About 20 years later, the United States Supreme Court added another rule in a case called Morse versus Frederick. It involved an Alaska high school senior who was 18 years old. His name was Joseph Frederick. And he decided to conduct a series of free speech experiments at Juneau Douglas High School. In one of these experiments, he refused to stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. When his teacher and principal cited him for it, he proudly reclaimed the Barnett decision, holding that public school students have a right to opt out of the Pledge of Allegiance. He won that free speech experiment. His next experiment, however, did not fare so well. When the Olympic torch relay was passing through Juneau, Alaska in January of 2002, Joseph Frederick decided to skip school. And along with several other individuals, they held up an 8 by 14-foot banner with the cryptic message, "BONG HiTS for Jesus," as international cameras rolled through. Principal Deborah Morse was less than pleased. She rushed across the street and ordered all the students to drop the banner. All complied except for Joseph Frederick. Principal Morse ordered Joseph Frederick to come to her office. Later that day, Joseph Frederick went to Principal Morse's office, and she said that he would be subject to a 5-day suspension. Joseph Frederick then quoted Thomas Jefferson for the principle that, quote, "speech limited is speech lost." A 5-day suspension became a 10-day suspension. Joseph Frederick challenged his suspension in the federal courts, and the case went all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. Joseph Frederick had some things going for him. After all, he was 18 years old. His speech technically occurred off campus. Granted, it was near campus, but he wasn't at school. However, 5 members of the U.S. Supreme Court saw things differently. They felt that Joseph Frederick had engaged in speech at a school-sanctioned activity. And Chief Justice Roberts created a new rule in the student speech world. That new rule is that public school officials can prohibit student speech that they reasonably believe advocates for the illegal use of drugs. Thus, the Morse case stands alongside Frazier and Hazelwood as carve-outs to the seminal Tinker standard.